Today on Grow With Science, we've got 7 amazing seeds to grow in August. First in, we've got rocket. They grow strong peppery leaves that you can enjoy on their own or mix them in with some other salad leaves. Sow them in a sunny site every 2 weeks into early September in rich, fertile, well-drained soil. Sow them thinly around half to 1 centimetre deep in rows 15 centimetres apart, and then thin them to 15 centimetres apart when the seedlings are large enough to handle, and don't forget that you can use the seedlings as microgreens in salads and garnishes. As the milder weather starts to set in, you can move to sowing under fleece or cloches or even in your greenhouse, just to keep the season going a bit longer and keep growing them as long as you can. Make sure you keep the soil moist just to keep the plants growing well, and it'll also stop them running to seed prematurely. Make sure you don't overwater them though, because that will dilute the flavour and it'll make them a bit milder and not quite as tasty. Another thing to keep in mind is if you get hot weather unexpectedly later on as they are growing, just give them a bit of shade, because the direct sunlight and heat will make them a bit woody and tough and not really nice to eat, so it's always worth just keeping them in the bit of shade if that does happen. And now we've got the first flower for today's video, cornflower. From the family Asteraceae, Centaurea cyanus is an upright annual, growing up to 75 centimetres tall, with simple or slightly lobed leaves and solitary deep blue flower heads 3 to 4 centimetres across, and these bloom in late spring and summer. You can sow cornflower seeds now in well-drained soil in a sunny position for loads of flowers in May. Another flower now and another member of the Asteraceae family, Calendula officinalis, or Calendula for short. Orange calendulas are ideal companions to go with your blue cornflowers for a maximum colour contrast display. Again, these can be sown in place and they'll grow to around 75 centimetres tall. Well-drained soil in either full sun or partial shade will be absolutely fine for these, and if you do them now, you'll get a great display at the end of spring next year. Next, we have Japanese winter onions. The variety I'll be sowing are Senshyu yellow onions, and you can sow these now. They'll go right over winter, and these will be ready next spring or towards the end of next spring into early summer. And you can just treat them just like you would any other onion, only they go over winter. When it comes to sowing, pick a nice sunny spot to make the most of the short days in winter. Sow the onions in rows and then thin them out once they've grown to resemble small spring onions. You can use these in salad or cooking just like a chive or a spring onion. As with other plants, it's an amazing idea just to cover them with some horticultural fleece or cloches just as the coldest weather comes in, just to keep the frost off them. And if you do that, next year you'll get an early set of amazing onions. Pak Choi is a great plant to sow in August and later in the year, and it's fantastic in stir fries or anything really, just as an alternative to cabbage. As I mentioned with the other varieties, it's best once the cold weather comes in, just to keep it under fleece, just to stop the frost getting it and make sure it gets through the colder months. Sow the seed in a sunny position in fertile soil, thinly around 2 centimetres deep, in rows 30 to 38 centimetres apart, and the wider distance is best for semi-mature to full-size heads. It's important to keep Pak Choi watered during its growth stages, just to make sure that it keeps that great flavour. California poppies are from the Papaveraceae family, with solitary long-stalked poppy-like yellow, orange or red flowers, followed by a conspicuous long seed pod. Another addition to the Grow With Science Seed Club are the California poppies, so these are going to be the September edition. So if you want to support the channel, go over and have a look at the link in the description, and you'll be able to get that exclusive video next month when I do these, and you'll be able to grow along with me. These poppies are a vigorous bushy plant growing to around 30 centimetres tall with 7 centimetre wide flowers. Like a lot of the late sowing varieties, these like to have full sun to make the most of the shorter days and benefit from being in a sheltered position. California poppies thrive in poor soil as long as it's well drained, but they do need sun for the flowers to open. Our final seed for August is Lactusa sativa, or as it's more commonly known, Windsor density, which is a lettuce. Windsor density, as the name suggests, is a semi-cos type with outstanding winter hardiness. It produces dark green heads with crisp leaves and is ready in spring from an autumn sowing. This variety can actually be brought on a few weeks early by putting a cloche over it in January or February. These are best sown towards the end of the month into September through to October, as seeds don't germinate as well during hot spells in early August. Either sow them directly into the ground and protect them from cold with cloches over winter, or grow them in modules in your greenhouse for planting out and covering at a later date. This variety takes around 10 to 12 weeks from sowing right through to maturity, so it's a really quick turnaround. Maybe do some every 2 weeks, and then by the time January, February comes next year, you're going to have loads of lettuces really early on in the season. So that's it for today, and hopefully now you feel inspired to go and grow some overwintering plants yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel just so that you see all my other videos like this one, and make sure you check out the Seed Club so that you can join me in growing some amazing plants. And I'll see you next time.